A rustle in the leaves, a ripple in the sand, a shadow that shifts but shouldn't. Here's the thing nobody tells you about the animal kingdom. The most terrifying creatures are often the ones you can't see. And the most vulnerable animals, well, they also survive by becoming invisible. That blurring of predator and prey creates some of the most dramatic, high-stakes moments in nature. So, instead of listing facts, let's slip into the world of 10 animals that mastered the ancient art of disappearing, each playing both hunter and hunted in a game where the first creature to reveal itself loses. Imagine you're walking through a quiet forest. You stop because something feels off, like you're being watched. But nothing moves, nothing breathes, nothing stares back. Yet, somewhere on a tree trunk, a leaf-tailed gecko is right there, perfectly merging with the bark. This creature doesn't just hide, it vanishes. Predators pass right by it, fooled by what looks like peeling wood. But the gecko has a second trick. Once a moth lands nearby, the bark itself seems to come alive, striking with shocking speed. It's the kind of twist nature uses to remind us that survival rewards the quiet ones who know exactly when to become visible. And that moment, when the prey becomes predator, is exactly what happens in the tall grass of Africa. Picture a tawny blur melting into the landscape. A lioness, crouched so low, she's practically the grass itself. Her coloration isn't just beautiful, it's a weapon. Prey animals scan the horizon for danger, but the danger is already beneath them, ghosted into the terrain. She waits, patient as stone. But here's the twist. Those same camouflage skills protect her cubs when hyenas roam nearby. The grass hides them all. Camouflage isn't just for hunting. It's shelter, legacy, lineage, wrapped in sun-washed fur. Now shift scenes to the ocean floor, where the flounder pulls off one of nature's most outrageous magic tricks. You look at sand, but the sand is looking back at you. A flounder can change the pattern, color, and texture of its skin in seconds, becoming a near-perfect simulation of whatever sits beneath it. When a crab scuttles by, the sand transforms into a sudden burst of motion. But when a shark approaches overhead, the sand melts right back into silence. Predator, prey, one body, two identities, swapping in real time. And speaking of dramatic transformations, imagine being able to become basically anything around you. Rocks, coral, even other creatures. That's the power of the octopus, especially species like the mimic octopus and the common octopus. This is where evolution flexes, if you will. Their skin isn't just camouflage, it's storytelling. An octopus doesn't just disappear, it performs. When threatened, it becomes venomous-looking. When hunting, it becomes unremarkable. Some shrink into crevices, some flatten along the sea floor, all relying on a nervous system that lets their bodies behave almost like special effects. They survive because they master the narrative of their surroundings better than their enemies do. But sometimes the best camouflage is the simplest, doing absolutely nothing. High in the trees, the stick insect leans into stillness with monk-like dedication. It stretches itself into a twig, even swaying gently with the breeze to commit to the illusion. Birds pass by, completely uninterested. But when nighttime comes and the predator becomes hungry, the twig breaks its trance, creeping to leaves it has long stared at without touching. Camouflage, for the stick insect, isn't about escape or trickery. It's about patience so extreme that survival becomes a form of meditation. On the other side of the world, motionlessness becomes an act of aggression. The jaguar, cloaked in a coat of shadowy rosettes, slips through the dappled Amazon light. Each spot seems designed to break its outline into dozens of smaller shapes, making the jaguar appear like just another flicker of rainforest shadow. Its prey only realizes what's happening a split second before the jaws lock. But remember, the jaguar is not invincible. When larger predators threaten, that same mottled coat allows it to blend, to melt, to vanish into the leaf-littered undergrowth, becoming yet another secret held by the jungle. And then there's the Arctic fox, the shapeshifter of frozen landscapes. In winter, it's a snowdrift with paws. In summer, it becomes earth-toned and scruffy, matching the rocks and tundra. This isn't vanity, it's necessity. A fox that can become the snow itself can sneak up on nesting birds with ease. A fox the color of gravel can evade wolves and polar bears. Its camouflage is seasonal armor, changing exactly as the world around it changes. But perhaps the most underrated master of disguise is the cuttlefish. If camouflage were an Olympic sport, the cuttlefish would break the scoreboard. It doesn't just blend, it broadcasts hypnotic patterns, rippling waves of light across its body. These shifting colors distract prey, disorient predators, and create confusion that buys precious seconds. Some scientists believe cuttlefish don't merely hide, they communicate through their skin. To prey, they whisper safety. To predators, they flash danger. Camouflage becomes language. Of course, hiding isn't always about color. It can also be about resemblance. The leaf insect is practically a love letter to evolution's creativity. Veins, edges, spots, blemishes. These insects don't just look like leaves, they look like leaves that have been lived in. Nibbled by caterpillars, weathered by rain, torn by wind. Predators fly right past them, fooled by the imperfections. And when these insects hunt, they move with the slow, swaying rhythm of foliage, closing the distance leaf by leaf. Finally, deep in the coral reefs, the stonefish proves that being ugly has survival perks. It is easily the most dangerous rock you'll ever meet. Stonefish camouflage is so perfect that people have stepped on them thinking they were chunks of reef. But beneath that disguise lies venom potent enough to hospitalize a human. Small fish, unaware of the deception, glide too close, only to be swallowed in a blink. But here's the twist. The stonefish hides not just to kill, but to not be killed. Predators that might overpower it don't attack what appears to be a rock. It survives by being so unremarkable it becomes untouchable. When you look across these 10 creatures, from geckos that vanish into bark to octopuses that rewrite their appearance like living CGI, you start to see a pattern. Camouflage isn't just a tool, it's a strategy, a decision, a constant negotiation between being seen and staying hidden. Every animal on this list walks, or slithers or swims, the line between predator and prey, between danger and safety, between visibility and invisibility. And in that razor-thin space, nature's greatest dramas unfold, unseen by most, but no less spectacular for happening in silence.